What's up, contractors? So instead of doing email proposals, what I wanted to do is kind of put together a whiteboard video to kind of explain exactly what it is that we're doing for everyone. I'd rather, much rather be able to show you guys visually versus you having to, read a bunch of stuff and have to skim through stuff. It just makes more sense. A lot of us are, visual learners. So what I want to get into is I want to kind of explain a little bit about the tools. All right, the tools are huge with what we've got going on, and it's no secret what we're doing. We've just kind of been able to put things together to make them make sense for contractors, make them work, and essentially in the long run, take a small income to a large income. So I'm going to start off by kind of going through here, and this is my awesome business partner over here, just so you know. Say hi, Ashton.
Hi.
So what I'm going to get into is the tools, right? So I'm going to break this down. Skyhook, okay, is made up of a bunch of different tools that we've kind of put together into one system. The first thing is we're going to start with our lead source, okay? And I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So we've got our lead source, all right, and we'll just kind of put that. So that's number one. Any of your lead sources, meaning Google, Facebook, wherever your ads are coming in, we want to take those leads and we want to make it basically the process super easy for all contractors. Less hands-on means more time for you and your family. So our lead source comes in, and then what it does is obviously goes to your landing page, right? I'm sure you've heard this a million times before, right? So your landing page. Here's the problem. We found that majority of contractors, their landing pages are actually more, they're like landing pages, but they're not mobile optimized. They're not set up for, users that are, again, mobile optimized, right? So users that are on their phones, they're more geared towards desktop, and majority of people don't use desktop, so it's basically a pointless thing to even have at this point. So what we want to do then is we take them to a landing page, and this is kind of where we'll just put right here, tracking, right? I've seen a lot of your guys' pages and there's no tracking on them at all, like zero. We can see a lot of things on the back end, your SEO, stuff like that, and we can see that how good things are performing. And straight out of the gate, that's the first thing we notice is that majority of these pages have nothing on there, which means that you're basically, if you are trying to run ads, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money, because without the tracking actually tells the system who to put your ad in front of. And that's what, that's with pixels and stuff like that. But so we're gonna say landing page / tracking, right? After that, we have what are called our automations. My handwriting is horrible, but automations are awesome. They're going to be extremely helpful. We want to, there's all these different forms of communication, within, for the consumer. We want to take and capture their info on as many different styles of communication as possible. So, meaning SMS. We've got Facebook. We've got voicemail. We've got email, right? And these right here these four are going to be the biggest ways to kind of be able to communicate. And then obviously you can have like a messenger bot, whatever, on your landing page. But essentially, having these set up gives you an advantage later on when you're running promotions to be able to actually take. You all right, dude? To be able to take their information and run those promotions later on and kind of hit them with new different kind of stuff. So after the automation side, we then go into basically operations, right? Operations. Yeah. Okay. Now we want to take the lead source all the way from here and run them through this system, and I'm going to show you the exact blueprint that we're using, but. We want to run them through this system and then obviously have an operation system set up. The next thing that the operation system must be able to do is give you somewhat of like a financial dashboard. And I'm going to show you why that's important. So we call this, KPI. We'll just call it KPIs, yeah. So key performance indicators, okay? So our KPIs are huge because this is what's going to tell us what we're spending and what we're making. And obviously in any business you need to know, right? You need to know exactly how much is going out, how much is coming in. So this breakdown right here, all right, this is kind of the overall system, but we also want to, and lead source, by the way, this can mean anything, including organic. It's not just paid ads, it's organic too. Also, the other thing is we want to be able to, do content management and do stuff like that. So we have tools that, do that for us. So organically, we're using local listings, right? We're using content and SEO. So the content part, meaning it could be Facebook, Google My Business, etc. We have basically a system. This system here puts so the local listing system will put your business on anywhere between 40 and 50 different sites like Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, etc. The content management part is we're basically posting all at one time to your social media account, stuff like that. Your Google My Business. We're giving you the tools that you need in order to be able to run the entire structure with, right? And then most of you guys know what SEO is. So this is basically your keyword research, your keyword ranking, and then article drops or blogs. We want to make sure that we're getting that done as well. So your landing page system, this system now has to be more mobile optimized, right? Which is what we do. We convert it all to like a mobile, more of a mobile structure than it is desktop. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put tracking in here like your Google Tag Manager and your Facebook Pixel. So now when we're running ads, we're telling the ads to only go in front of the people that are, let's say, hitting, and I'll kind of get to that, but basically not just landing on a landing page, right? But actually, filling out a form and then hitting the submit button. So we want to only put the ads in front of people that hit the submit button. And over time, it will learn, over a period of time, it learns who that person is, and it will only put your ads in front of that person or those people. So your automations, right? Now, again, we also have a connector, right? So the connector is kind of like what puts everything together and then makes all the information from here all the way into your operations. Once it hits operations, right, and this is the biggest thing. Once it hits your operations, we want to be able to organize, who these leads are, where they came from, and we want your office to be able to do the least amount of work as possible. The girls in the office, it should essentially just be focusing on generating, as many scheduled appointments or estimates as possible from all the leads that we bring in. So once they do that, obviously you guys schedule them, you can close them out. And I'm gonna get into, the KPI part after, but right now I'm gonna jump back into the blueprint. So let me go ahead and erase this. Okay, awesome eraser. Yeah. What do you think? Think it worked?
No.
That's all right.
Lines everywhere.
Yeah, there are
because it gets dried fast.
Yes.
Because of the lights.
Yep, and because of the spray we put on there too. Yeah. So the blueprint looks something like this. I probably should have brought that down here. Yeah. Okay. So you've got. ORG. You want to write the next one for me? Okay, so Google Organic, then you're going to write Google Paid. Yep. So Google Paid. The next one after that is going to be your Facebook Organic and your Facebook Paid. Perfect. Yep. Paid. P-A-I-D. A-I. Good job. All right.
I'm actually a better writer than you.
Yes, you are. You just need to learn how to spell, but I don't know how to spell it well either. So, Facebook Paid and Facebook Organic. Okay. Once that's done, it's gonna look something like this. Okay, into the landing page, obviously. Now, again, your organic side is gonna be your SEO, your local listings, your content management, etc. Your Google My Business, and all the other sorts that are coming in, obviously, right? Free lead traffic. It's never really free. but you know what I'm saying. So our Google paid, our Facebook paid is also, Google and Facebook are your YouTube, your Instagram, your Facebook, and Google obviously. And then you have your Facebook organic. Facebook organic is huge right now because, but it takes a long time to develop. It's huge, but it takes a while, right? Because Facebook has now made changes that are requiring you to pretty much pay for just about every single post. So, but again, it's still organic because you're building up that audience. And everybody's gonna land on and just so you know, we have the Facebook bot will actually be right here, right? So your Facebook bot's here because once they hit your messenger, we want them to talk to a bot that's gonna send them right to the landing page. Once they're on the landing page, they're gonna watch a video. It's gonna have your information and your content. We wanna get them as fast as we can over to fill out an estimate form. Now, this is where the tracking comes in. You have tracking that's all through this, right? But once they hit here, they're considered a content view, right? Once they hit a button that says get an estimate, now they're considered a lead because they hit get an estimate, right? So there's a button there, right? And so now they're considered a lead. Once they get here and they click the submit to submit a form, now they're considered a conversion. And that's what we care about. Leads are trash. We care about conversions. We want to know, exactly how much it's going to cost us to get an actual form filled out. Now, once that's done, that's where your automations play in, right? SMS, Facebook, email, voicemail. Oh, yeah, voicemail, right? And then from here on out, so they filled out their form, right? And the form, and again, with roofing, what we do is we focus solely on the fact that if we give away free roofs, we're gonna get a ton of leads in, and those leads, or those conversions, if you will, are actual people that need a roof, because they wouldn't want a free roof if they didn't need a roof. So they're entering in and they want a free roof, or they want, they want, a roof done, and they want to see if they can get it for free. We're gonna turn around, and because most people don't even know about insurance claims, they don't know about a lot of this stuff, or the financing options we can actually help them with. So we want to educate them over the phone and then try to schedule an appointment. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna schedule the appointment with them because you're gonna say, look, you may not actually win, but here's some other options we can offer you. Right? It works pretty well. So, yeah, so anyway, once this takes place, what we're gonna do is we'll put them into the operations, okay? So, operations system, and this is where if you don't have one, we will actually custom build it so that, we're gonna take the leads, put them in here, get them organized, and make it so that your team, which they're gonna be using, their cell phones and stuff. I'm sure a lot of people know what AccuLinks is, or Job Nimbus, stuff like that. We use a company called Contractor Cloud. So this company allows us to go in and access and build out a system off of their platform, which we can then make it so that your teams are all running on mobile, so that everybody's on the same page, putting in notes. And there's also a KPI dashboard, and that's the next thing I want to get into. So get rid of this. Oh, watch your finger, buddy. So, KPIs, what we're looking for, now just to kind of give you an idea, most companies have a financial wheel that looks kind of like this, okay? So we're gonna go 30% labor, 20% material, okay? 10% sale, 10% marketing, 30%, we'll say 30% left, but it's more like, I'll break it down even farther actually. Instead of running it at 30, we'll break it down like this. So 15% overhead, okay, and 15% profit. So that's pretty much how the wheel looks. And there we go, something like that. Okay. These numbers are, extremely accurate. If you ever break down your business, 9 times out of 10, this is what you should end up with. And you should always be putting 10%, of whatever it is that you're grossing, whatever you grossed the month before is what you should be spending the next month in marketing, ads, etc. Right? So that's the wheel. Now let's get into the actual KPIs. What we're looking for is we're looking for cost per lead. And you can do this on anything, including the, even door to door. Like you can do this on that as well. So cost per schedule, right? And then we'll just say cost per close or cost per sale, whatever. Actually, here, we'll just do this. Cost per acquisition. So most roofing companies, all right, I'm using this as an example. Everybody's different. We always want to figure out what this is. There's an algorithm in this, and whatever we end up figuring it out, like figuring out what that mathematical equation is, we then can take that, break it down to where we need it to be, and then we can duplicate it, right? And then it no longer becomes, like we want to get your cost per lead. Sorry, buddy. We want to get your cost per lead down to between, we'll say 10 to, $20 is what we want it down at, okay? And then we want to take that cost per lead, right? We've got our cost per schedule and our cost per acquisition. Most people have an acquisition of around 350, okay, on average, and that's pretty good. We've seen some contractors that have had a cost per acquisition of 3750, which is outrageous, but we did fix that problem. So now this has more or less a percentage, right? So if you take if your cost per lead, so you have your leads coming in. Let's say you get 800 leads, okay? You now want to take those leads, you're gonna say, I'm gonna end up scheduling 30%. So 30% would be right around 240. And then you're gonna end up actually closing about 15%, right? So 15% is gonna be about 120, yeah, it's 120. So anyway, so out of those 800 leads, you should be closing about 120 jobs, right? So that's what we wanna figure out with our KPIs. That's what's gonna tell us, essentially in the end, how your business is doing, how it's growing, how it's scaling. And we wanna make sure that we take all this info and that we're, analyzing it basically on a weekly basis, really, because we really wanna stay on top of things. So anyway, that kind of gives you a better understanding of everything that we've got going on. We kind of focus on as much as, we want to be in there as much as we can, and we want to see what's going on. We want to be able to access the operation system because, essentially our role in this is to make sure you guys grow. And in order to do that, we have to have all the information. So what do you think?
I think, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, give a thumbs up. Awesome.
Subscribe and like the video.
Subscribe and like the video. See ya.